You're still in Korea? We're gonna get into that after. Let's just say that there is a little development that happened about an hour ago. But yeah, so anyways, a lot of you guys might be wondering what is the stream gonna be today? Like what were we planning on doing? And the plan today was that I do like an IRL stream talking with Professor Akali about the downsides of being like a content creator, okay? So I feel like a lot of people, they think that content creation is all just like easy, right? Which, I mean, in a way it kind of is. You get to choose your own hours, you get to like have financial freedom, that kind of stuff. But I feel like there's a lot that goes on as well, especially for the people that make it like he has what, 1 million subs on YouTube now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank God. Finally, I was worried I wouldn't hit it.
Yeah. So that's the thing, it's like there are some people who it's like when they make it to the top, they have like stories that they can tell and all that kind of shit that I feel would be interesting for you guys to hear, right? The only downside is your ego is on full display for thousands.
That's actually true though.
It's a little more than that though, but I mean that's part of it.
Oh, that's not only, right?
Yeah.
Only is completely wrong, but that is one of them.
Yeah. So so I thought, you know, if any of you guys don't know him, we'll just like give him the introduction.
So pretty much, I think nowadays I'm OG because I'm old as shit. I'm actually doing a YouTube video, so I didn't swear. So yeah, I've been doing League content for like 8 years now, which is kind of old because back in my day, all my old school friends like fucking like Bunny, Bunny, Glacier, so many people have all quit now. So I'm just an old man in the League scene. Make Akali content. I used to manage like half of League of Legends, so I used to manage, I'm gonna call you Dantes the whole time.
Yeah.
I gotta get used to that. I used to call him Doaenel. So I used to manage Dantes, Fog, Swag, 1,000, like, okay, let's be real. I've honestly managed like 20 different people.
Yep.
Helped a lot of people grow, which has led to a very unfortunate downfall, and that was a very stressful part.
Yeah, we'll get into that after.
We're gonna get into that. So yeah, I pretty much just like make Akali content, YouTube videos, and then had a little bit of other stuff going on in the League scene as well. And that's actually how I met Dantes. Was through managing him.
So the story of like how we met was that 3 years ago now? 3 years ago. Charisma had actually introduced me to him, and the reason why was because at the time I was like 50 viewer streamer, and Charisma would always tell me, be like, yo, you need to get into YouTube if you actually want to make it as a streamer, right? So I never really knew how to do it, I never knew how to navigate it. So at that point, Charisma was managed by Professor Akali, and he was like, you know what, I can put in like a good word with you. So he kind of put us in contact with one another, and then we started working together, and we worked together for like about a year, and it was after a year that, do you want to say the situation?
I'll let you start it.
Okay, so what had happened, right, is we were working together, okay? And Professor Akali, he managed, I think, like what, 10, like 5 to 10 people?
At the time, it wasn't too crazy, like maybe like 6 people.
6, yeah. So he managed 6 people, and essentially what the agreement was that he would handle everything for YouTube, right? So he would sit there and he would like, he would find the games, he would do the thumbnails, he would do the titles, he would bring you in on collabs, right? Do all these kinds of things, and just kind of like get your name out there, right? And in return of like literally doing everything, then there would be like a 50-50 ad revenue split where you would share like 50% of the revenue, okay?
Yeah, and just to clarify, it was pretty much I'd build people a channel that like didn't exist, so like make their Google account and like build them a YouTube and like juice the crap out of it with like all my videos collabs. There's this thing on YouTube called the community post, which I'm sure you guys have seen, like random like stupid polls that like people spam for engagement. Just like juice the crap out of people and like really help people like see them, and then would take half of their YouTube revenue for like a 2 or 3 year contract.
Yep. So the story was I signed with him, right? And we were supposed to sign for about like 2 years. And after the first year, there was this whole like situation that started unfolding on Twitter, where people started like attacking him for like the managing, right? So a lot of people came out. A lot of people were saying that it was apparently predatory, which it wasn't. They were saying a lot of things like against it, and then it had gotten to a point where there was so much backlash that a few of his like top people, like at the time he was managing, I think Manco.
Yeah, Manco and Tempest.
Manco and Tempest, and because of the backlash that he was like getting, Manco and Tempest said, "Yo, we don't really want to work with you anymore." Right?
Yeah, I think they saw it as an opportunity to. I think they thought it was a good idea. Whatever the reasoning may be, I think they thought that it's a good time to exit. So that was going on amongst very horrific IRL situations in my personal life, to the point where like I was collapsing. My mental was being ganked. It was going sky, as they say in Korea.
So then what happened was so those two ended up severing their contract with him, and then after they severed their contract with him, he was just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do this like managing thing anymore. So he contacted me and like a few other guys, and he was like, all right guys, look, I'm just gonna terminate the contract. You guys have full reign of your YouTubes now. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. And that's kind of like when I went on my own, right?
And I even gave so originally, just a little fun fact. Yeah. I gave Charisma, one of my other YouTube channels, like a league YouTube channel that I had built up. I think I had like 100K at the time. Yeah. I changed it to Charisma, and then I ended up, after like that whole thing happened, I just gave him the YouTube channel. I like changed all the details to his name, and I was like, you know what, buddy, been through a lot together. Just fucking take it. And like enjoy.
So that's why it was just like. It was like a pretty, I guess, like amicable separation, if you can like call it that. But yeah, so that's like kind of my story with him. And then ever since then, we've kind of like been in contact, like always talking. This is the first time we actually meet. Well, we met like I think 2 days ago.
We went clubbing a little bit because Dantes has gone full degen mode since he got banned, just out every night.
Yeah, so let's just say the ban has been taking its effect on my mental health, and
you drink to fix it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Just kidding. No, so I've been coping with a little too much alcohol. Let's just say that, and but I mean it's fine. Last night was the last night that I said I was gonna drink in Korea, so we're chilling.
As I'm sure the night before that was. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
No, but see, okay. So the thing about me, right, is that I drink every day, but I can stop at any time. So I'm not actually like an alcoholic. Does that mean, like I'm not addicted because I can stop whenever I want?
There's two types of addictions. There's the one where you can't control yourself, and the one where you actually no wait that did you. All I'm saying is that sounds like crackhead logic. I could stop smoking meth if I wanted.
No, but I actually can. Like if I want right now, I'll never drink again. But it's just that I don't want to stop.
Dude, but there's a bottle under the table that you've been drinking this whole stream. What are you talking about? He's lying, dude.
Don't tell them. They don't need to know that.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Actually, it is almost fucking 5 o'clock here.
Yeah, it's like 4:30.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, with that whole introduction, everything done, I thought that would actually be good to kind of like get into what the whole like downsides of content creation actually are, right? So you were saying, right, that when you were getting under attack on like Twitter, Reddit, all that kind of stuff, that you had like IRL problems going on as well, right?
Yep. I'm not gonna get into specifics because, to be completely honest with you guys, I think we all know League is a pretty toxic place. Like Dantes has a really dope community, and like you guys are just all about the memes and the laughs. But like most of League is pretty brutal. So I don't want to get into specifics because like I'll get like 1,000 people like attacking me, like making fun of me. But pretty much horrible IRL stuff was happening in real life, like life devastating. Meanwhile, I have like a few just massive content creators saying, like getting involved in business that wasn't theirs, making up lies, pulling up stats for people I never managed, saying that they were no one I managed girl, just a whole lot of stuff. And I think if you want to get into like all the nitty gritty, like the juicy like bad stuff, guys, it's fucking brutal. Yeah. All I can say is like having thousands of people hating on you as one person. Yeah. It's tough because like I think it's like what's that meme by that rapper, like Chance the Rapper, LMAO bruh, it's just fucking close your eyes if it's cyberbullying or
Yeah,
whatever.
like if you're getting cyberbullied, just turn your monitor off.
Yeah, just turn your monitor off. But like, I think the thing is, like, since you know, Dantes knows better than anyone. His life is his stream.
Yeah.
This guy is actually the hardest working person I've ever seen in League. Honestly, probably most genres. But so like, your personality is your like online persona.
Yeah.
So like, when people are just like destroying you over literal lies, bro, I think I laid in bed for like 2 weeks, like no, not to be like too like sad drinking, but like fucking drinking every night, like going to nightclubs and like copiuming, kind of like you are right now with getting bad.
Exactly.
So lots of insanity, but I think that's. I'm trying not to. I don't want to like drop any names or start anything, but like there are some pretty like seriously fucked in the head humans in League, and it's like unbelievable that like they exist out of like anime as a protagonist.
Yeah. So what he's like kind of, I guess like the general thing he's trying to say is that the problem is that when you're a content creator, any hate that you get a lot of the time, you assume as yourself as a person, right? So because you're gonna dedicate so much time to like your YouTube or your Twitch or stuff like that, then the issue is that when people start attacking you for it, right? And when people start going after you for it, then the problem is that you take it as like a personal offense in a way. And when you have like thousands of people that are gonna attack you and go after you and all that kind of stuff, it's very easy to say like it's very easy from an outsider perspective to just be like, yeah, but just don't care. But it's not only that simple, right? Because especially as a creator, your whole reputation is built on the public's perception of you, right? So that's why when there's a bad public perception of you, then you can see like literally visually the negative effects that it has and how it's like impacting your career in a way where it's like now you're getting less views, less subs, less people are talking good about you, right?
Less
All that
self-worth.
Yeah, exactly. And then that translates because since you dedicate so much time into this, it's almost like everything's getting taken, right? Because so one of the big differences between a normal job and like, let's say content creation, is that a normal job you work, let's say 8 hours, clock in, clock out, you're done, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to like content creation, most of the people who are at the top, these are people who it's all they do. Like 12 to 14 hours a day on social media, streaming, doing YouTube videos, all that kind of stuff, right? So because of that, it's not just like their job is a part of who they are, it's
your life.
Yeah, it's like it's everything you are, right?
Think about it this way: if you're spending 90% of your time online being Dantes or Professor Akali instead of like, you know, well, I guess your name is your handle, but like, instead of like Kevin, like your life is that. You're not this guy with a family and like friends and like this life. You are literally your online character, and like everything that attacks you online, it kind of like just like hits you super hard, or
exactly.
it can, unless you got like guru like monk mental.
No, exactly. So that's like the reason why is dealing with hate actually is one of the things that separates the people who retain their spot at the top versus the ones who like go on burnout or like have all these issues that happen. Because it's only when you're able to like deal with that hate and you're able to actually like overcome it in a way that you can like keep pushing, right? And if you can't, and if you, I guess, flounder, then that's where most people fail because you can't really recover from that, right?
There's a saying, the only way you actually get canceled is if you cancel yourself. Pretty much it just means like the way you really destroy yourself, like if you were trying to like attack a creator, the only way it actually works is if you actually like bully them into like quitting. But that actually happens like pretty often. Sometimes it's deserved. Most of the time it's not.
Yeah. So I mean, like, listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to like being canceled, unless you're, I don't know, like a serial murderer and you do something that literally has no possible way of like being looked into and like no nuance, like you're just a bad person, then most of the time you can recover, right? Most of the time, like, you can just give insight on your mind, your mental state, whatever it was that made you act the way you did, and you'll be fine. But the problem is that when you sit there and, well, I mean, not the problem, but like if you're like actually just a bad person then people aren't really going to give you a second chance, right? And that's why, like, there are a few examples from League of people who would sit there and like they would get canceled and they don't really make a return, right? Like some ADC streamers, for example.
Ah, yes, Brownie.
Yeah, Cookie, Biscuit LMAO.
Yeah.
So
69.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You have like situations like that, but then also there's this other big thing about being a content creator as well that not a lot of people get, right? And it's that, let's say you're working like normal, right? You're doing a normal job. You're doing like all these kinds of things. The people that will interact with you are the people who want to interact with you as a person, right? But when you're a content creator, it's a lot different because people's success depends on the amount of exposure they get. So because of this, what happens is it introduces this new thing to the mix, where now instead of people just wanting to interact with you based off who you are, it's also what you can offer them.
I think we both know pretty well about this whole topic.
Yeah.
Absolute insane. Sorry, I could go on a rant if you want, but otherwise you keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just give like a little bit more like precursor on anything else. So that's the reason why. When you're a content creator, a lot of the time, it's people will sit there and their perception of you will be directly related to what you have to offer them. So imagine you're blowing up, you're doing well, right? Everyone's gonna love you. They're all gonna say great things about you, you know? Like I'm a good example of that, right? Like I'm doing well for myself, my streams are doing good, YouTube's doing good, and most of the people that talk about me have good things to say. But I remember when there was a time, you know, where I went from like 2,000 viewers and then I went on a downturn, and just like that, people, yes, like people who would sit there and would say nothing but nice things about you. People who would reach out to you, they'd be like, hey, how are you, bro? Like, was just wondering if we could like collab sometime soon if you ever want to talk, you know, something like that. People will go from doing that to instantly, yeah, this guy's the worst person alive. Yeah, I don't know why people like this guy. Yeah, you know, like this guy doesn't deserve what he has. You know?
Dude, okay.
And you can give, yeah.
Okay, it is, guys. Look, I'm gonna be. I don't want complaining too much without like being positive is like I don't like doing that. So like I will say, this job is fucking dope, right? Like we get to travel, we play a game we love, we get to entertain and like show ourselves to you guys, and like it's fucking awesome. So I know especially like both of us love our communities very much, but there's just so much. I guess a good way of putting it is just absolute AIDS. Just everyone is gonna either like blow you, like literally blow you, or talk shit to get a bit of extra engagement. Like there are people that are on Twitter, like 20, 30 viewer Twitch streamers, just depending on like the flavor of the month, they'll either say that like you are the worst human alive, and like I can't believe what he did 4 years ago when he was 16 or 17. Or I'd be like, oh, this guy's so funny, he's my best friend, I really support him, and like Riot should really unban him. Like it's just, I think it's such a first world problem to complain about. I'm like picturing it from like your guys' perspective. But just imagine every last person you interact with is just fake. Like imagine, I think we all have like at least one or two like close friends, even though like, you know, we all play League, we've all pretty much had a very similar story. I think like, I don't know about you, but like I was bullied really bad in high school, and like that's why I started playing League so much. And stuff like that. I think a lot of people have the similar story, but like at this point, it's just, not to rant too much, but like it's pretty insane how like everyone will just is so fake.
Because as like a normal person, right, 90 to 95% of people you're ever gonna meet won't care about you. Even 95 to 99. But the thing is that the people who aren't gonna care about you, they're never really gonna interact with you. You know what I mean? Like maybe they'll just say, I think here or there, how are you, kind of stuff. But the problem with, I guess like the difference with content creation is that the people who don't care about you will always try interacting with you, because that's how they grow and that's how they further their careers, right? So that's like the reason why it just makes it have this like weird kind of dynamic, because it's almost like you're there and you're just sitting and
waiting to just suck away a bit of their community.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like people.
It's like chess.
Yeah, it's like it's social politics. That's what like streaming is.
That's the perfect way of wording it, I think, with a lot more maliciousness. Because this is like, yeah, the thing is like, all you do as a League of Legends small streamer, most of them, obviously not gonna name it, like, not everyone is a certain way, but like all you do is like get on Twitter, type someone's name that's big, or like try to collab with them, hope it works out, shoot your shot, and then do whatever they say, or act how you need to act for them to like say a nice thing about you or get in a stream with you. It's a little bit draining, but like, you know, obviously our job is, it's great, but like there's a lot of like there's a lot of misery to it. Like, I mean, like there was a time, like, I mean, you've talked about the whole thing where like you had like that like dark times and like like, so like, you know, Dantes and we both gone through swings where life is Cloud9. Well, I guess now it's the team that beat them. Anyways, life is perfect. Life is horrible. It just keeps on happening. And it's just, yeah, honestly, I'm kind of on a rant right now, so I'm just going to let you go. I'm kind of just blabbering.
Yeah, so what he's trying to get is that it's like, it's a weird thing, because when you're in business, right? Imagine you're like a businessman, imagine you're in like some kind of like corporate job, whatever. Then everybody knows that it's all just business. But the problem with live streaming is that a lot of the people that will only have, I guess, like business intentions will try and treat you as like a friend, because it makes it a lot easier to get that business relationship by being your friend, right? So that's one of the reasons why it's like, you find a lot of people who, like, they sit there, they'll display interest when they don't actually have it, right? Stuff like that, which you'll still find in the business world. But in the business world, there's kind of like this unspoken thing, right? Whereas in content creation, since a lot of people especially are normally like, you know, like a guy like me or a guy like him who we spent our high schools like inside just like playing video games, shit like that, right? Like people like us, we don't really have that many social like interactions, right? Yeah. So that's why it's like when you're just new to the scene or like stuff like that, then it's very easy to become susceptible to people who have these impure intentions, because these people can make you believe things that aren't actually true, right?
Yeah, it's kind of fucked, because like, you know, you'll have like, we'll call him Little Timmy, blows up being a Ribbon One trick, and then you've got like evil step uncle Greg, just like seeing, oh hey, Timmy is like blowing up, let me invite him to stay with me, let me be friends with him. I'm gonna just become his best friend while he's blowing up, so that like his success, his hard work is directly feeding into me. And it's so common, like it's so common. I love your business explanation, by the way. Like the fact that like, yeah, in content creation, business and friendship is so blurred that you can't tell what someone wants from you.
Exactly.
So you'll always, a lot of times you end up just getting like hurt and disappointed.
And that's why it's kind of funny, right? Because when you look at a lot of people who have like a lot of personal connections, right, or stuff like that, it's not necessarily because they are good friends, like particularly, so much as it is that they can give off that illusion the best, right? That's one of the reasons why when you look at, especially like the very, very top streamers, a lot of these people don't actually interact with anyone. Like XQC, he doesn't really have many streamer friends, right? Neither does Tyler. Even the Bouse, like he doesn't really go out of his way to interact with anyone, right? Yeah. Like, and when people get to a point where it's like they're 20,000 viewers, unless they're part of like an organization and they always have to do collabs and shit like that, like think OTK, OTB, stuff like that, for the people that are on the kind of like lone wolf style of creation, it's like they really stay away from everything.
It's the only way.
Yeah, because that's why you come to realize that at the end of the day, your success is like yours to make, and by bringing in other people or by trying to like make other friendships, it's kind of just like, it's
impossible.
Yeah,
like,
not impossible, but it's extremely rare. Like extremely rare.
Like I have a question, and feel free to like not answer it because it might seem a little depressing.
Yeah.
How many people do you think have like tried to like, in one way or another, blow you for a little bit of clout? Like if you had a number ballpark range, because I think this might like kind of trip people out.
Okay, so I've interacted personally, right, with almost every single creator in the scene. In the league scene, at least, right?
What's the number that, like 50? Like 50, like, notable people? 100?
Yeah, it's
just a guess. Not that it matters, actually. I'm just curious.
One second, the ambulance is going crazy.
Please,
Can you guys hear that? We should take more if you guys can hear that.
Oh, thank God. I thought there was like the war sirens or something.
Yeah, no, I don't know. You guys can hear it? Okay. So, yeah, so listen, I've interacted with probably about 50 to 100 like streamers, right? Streamers, YouTubers, all that kind of stuff. And the amount of real, genuine connections I've had, I can count it on one hand. Like,
Value's one of them, right? That guy is so sick, dude.
Yeah, Value's
Best Five, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on a big hype train for that guy.
Yeah, no, Value. Yeah, no, that guy's like super open and everything. But that's why, like, I can probably say like 100% less than 7. But it would be anywhere between like 5 to 7. I would say that I would have like an actual real like genuine friendship or like connection with something like that. That isn't, you know, like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of thing. You know?
Yeah, man. Same for me. It's probably people that haven't quit. I want to say like 2 really close people, and then like 3 or 4 like medium friends, like pretty decently close. And then backstabbing is like a bit.
So do you have any
bigger.
like stories about like backstabbing, like people that pretend to be your friend and then?
Yes, I have one. I'm gonna give the least amount of details possible.
Yep.
But I used to collect. Oh shit, that's already good. Anyways, I used to work with someone for honestly a few years straight. I was getting like the most insane views, probably like the most views I had been getting. And this dude, I thought were like, you know, we would message every single day. He'd DM me asking about girl advice and like all this, like all these things, and like text each other like, whatever, happy birthday, blah blah blah.
And then it gets to the point where it's like,
yeah, and then like I'm dealing with IRL stuff. Find out he is not only like talking trash behind my back, but he is like, I don't know how to word it without like kind of making it obvious who it is.
yeah, but it's like trying to tear you down in a way, almost. Like finding ways to like tear you down. Yeah.
Essentially, you find out that at 0 point did they actually like give a single fuck.
Yep.
It is just the most obscene, two-faced fakery to try and like pretend they're your best friend, and then like the second things go wrong, they just like start talking shit. And, like, I don't want to give any details. I'm sorry, guys. I will like, if it were me, but I have like all my close people. And like I don't want to do it on Dante's stream. Like I would just be like, it's this guy, fuck these people. But I can't. I'm so sorry.
Like, Chad, type 1. If like in a year from now, Professor Akali should just say fuck it and leak everything about the scene.
Dude,
like just absolutely everything.
Bro, you don't even know. Bro, you don't even know, man. Guys, I'll give the most insanely minor details, but you'll never know who it is. There are people that have like coach teams, like LCS teams that go through Skype logs of their players like people that have like been like straight up like fucking man, I'm not gonna I'm just not going there. But dude, guys, I'm dropping my manifesto. Cancel me until I quit, and I will give you guys the most jaw-dropping cookie lol level PDF file in existence.
Yeah, like the documents.
No, nothing on TF Blade actually.
Yeah.
He is a fucking idiot for egoing on Twitter, but every interaction, especially in life, he is a genuinely good guy, and I hate the fact that he is getting flamed so much. Especially with that, sorry.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, so that's actually like one of the funny things about this scene too, is that most of the time the people who are going to like get the most amount of hate, like from Reddit or Twitter or whatever else, they're not actually deserving of it. Like it's the people who, because okay, so the problem with this scene is that a lot of the time it's having connections and like friendships, and then when you have friendships with people, then their communities will never attack you because you're friends with that person, right? So the people who stick to themselves, the people who like stick to themselves a lot of the time will end up getting more hate than what's actually justified, because they don't have anybody that has any like ties to them
to back them up.
Yeah,
exactly. It's true. I mean, you have like people that like, it's almost as if like staying in your own lane and just focusing on making really good content. Like, I should have done the whole streamer route like a few years ago and just fucking blown everyone on Twitter and Discord. So like when these things happen, I would have people backing me up it's because I stood in my own lane. It seems like that kind of leaves yourself to get like attacked with no defense. It's like people don't want to get in an actual fight. People just want to dogpile. Same thing as like bullying in real life. Like it's anyways.
So what would you say the difference is between like making content on Twitch versus YouTube?
Okay. So either way, you are. So the straight up difference is like not related to like the whole like drama and negativity is on YouTube. Here's the beautiful thing about YouTube, guys. For any of like the 10 people that do want to make content on YouTube, the algorithm decides if you're worth promoting. On Twitch, it's hours. You have like not to blow Doaenel or Dantes, but like he is one of the very few people that are just naturally entertaining. On Twitch, you have to put in insane hours. You have to fucking actually blow every dude that streams to like try and get one collab with them, one tweet interaction with them. And like it's honestly like all about being fake on Twitch. Whereas on YouTube, you make a good video and like you will be rewarded, and like that's why I love it. It's like that's kind of like I do prefer staying in my own lane. Like most of the time, staying in your own lane, it's like because it's like if it's like when you do a group project in school and they're all fucking mentally ill and like worthless. It's like why would I have to deal with that when I can just do it myself? Basically, Twitch more hours. More fakeness, YouTube, so much chill, so much danker.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Because I would say one of the differences is that a lot of the time, Twitch you can build more of like a committed follower base.
That's true.
So people will like you a lot more because they get to see you on like an hourly basis. Whereas YouTube, you don't really get as much of that connection since like most people are only watching for like 10 minutes a day, right? So that's like one of the things, but yeah, the other thing that makes YouTube a lot better for sure is the fact that if you have like one good day and you can get like 10 videos in, you don't have to work for like a week and a half, right? But on Twitch, it's like even if you have one good stream, it's like, all right, nice, tomorrow's stream has got to be better.
Yeah. I was actually talking to Dances about this. Like, I think with YouTube, like, I'll be honest with you guys, me and my old friends that all quit, like, we would literally grind videos for like 3 days to a week, and then we'd go on vacation for like 2 or 3 weeks straight, and you can't do that with Twitch. Like, if Dantes has like a family thing, or he wants to like take a few days off, like wasn't that vacation you took like the first one, and like how like since like
in June, first vacation I took in like 3 years.
Like how like I know some of you guys don't ever like take breaks because like you're unable to, or you just don't want to, but like it really is like that intense with Twitch. If you don't show up, you're just gonna fall off.
So like that's the interesting thing about Twitch is that it's almost like you have financial freedom and you do have freedom, but you're also not really free, because if you take time off, then okay, imagine it like this. Imagine every single thing that you do when it comes to like streaming and Twitch and that kind of stuff. It's like a relationship, right? And every single day you work towards that relationship, right? Imagine normally you'd have a relationship with like your partner. Now on Twitch you have a relationship with like your viewers, right?
So true.
And the issue is that when you take time off, then your viewers aren't just gonna wait around for you. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna find other people. So that's why, in the same way that taking like a week off or 2 weeks off your relationship might make your partner leave you, it does the same thing with the people who will discover your stream and watch you, right?
Yeah.
And then if they sit there and they look around, they find someone else, and then that person streams longer hours or that kind of stuff, then they'd be like, all right, I'll watch him instead.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why like most of the people at the top are people that stream like 12, 14, 16 hours a day, because they are always there, you know?
I will say, like, that is absolutely factual, but I think it's more so factual with your average, like, little Timmy, rank 1 X1 trick gamer. I think for you, you're like, not to blow him, whatever. You do have like a personality that is like unique, and like you're not gonna find that through someone else. Like old T1 from like maybe 3 years ago might have been like similar, like what the fuck is going on? This is hilarious.
Yeah, like the rage.
Yeah. So like, but like I think if in that sense, like people will show up for like a bit of a more unique experience.
Yep.
That is something to note too. But yeah, it's insane, guys. Like obviously, let's be real, guys. We fucking play a video game for a living. Like you guys probably have bosses, and like that's. I can only imagine how shit that is. Like, I don't want to be told what to do by fucking bosses.
So this is the interesting thing, and something a lot of people don't realize is that when you're a streamer, your boss isn't one person, it's the hundreds of thousands of people that will follow you, right?
That's true.
So that's the reason why a lot of people are afraid to like voice their opinion. They're afraid to stray away from the mold. They're afraid to like do different kinds of content because they know that if it's something that all of these people who follow them don't want to see, then they're not going to do it, right? Like if you have somebody he'll tune into your stream and you'll say that you love the color red, but he hates the color red, he's never going to watch you again. So that's why most people will always stay informative, and they will always just kind of like keep just reactions to the game, because they don't ever want to give insight on, I guess, like who they are, because they know that once they do, it alienates certain parts of their audience, right?
So true.
So that's actually something that leads to burnout a lot of the times, because you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say, you know what, I want to say something, and then you'll say something, people will like give you flack for it, and then you'll say, you know what, I'm not gonna do that again. And then you kind of have this like buildup of tension that over time you feel like you're not able to express who you really are. And then that's what leads a lot of people to undergoing burnouts, or they'll like stop streaming or like that kind of shit, right?
Yeah, okay, so I can chime in on that. So pretty much Dantes is dead on spot with the whole you show a piece of yourself. Okay, so let's be real. This fucking guy right here, he says the most outlandish, dumbest shit ever because it's funny and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He is probably one of a few people that does that in League Total. And the reason is because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yep.
But I think nowadays, like, I'm pretty set, and like I don't really care anymore. Like I'm pretty just chilling. Like I'm older now. But like, as someone who has been on the opposite end of Dantes, I'll tell you guys, you get a fucking Reddit post about like, you get a Reddit post on the front page, 30,000 upvotes. Everyone's telling you like you're this miserable, horrible person for overreacting once, straying away from saying, okay guys, we're gonna be going against a Renekton, and I'm gonna be taking these runes, and oh my god, I got a kill. Like, you show your personality, get attacked for it, but if you have one mistake, or you call someone a dickhead on Twitter, and now everyone hates you. In reality, it's not actually true, but like it feels like it. It is pretty brutal, and that's kind of like why, like, I think I've met quite a few one-trick streamers who like have personalities, but they don't show it on stream. They're like literal NPCs that are talented at a champion. It's because, like, you know, what happens if you accidentally say something wrong? That my filter, guys, I think I have the strongest filter. My friends in real life would be like, dude, these people, like, if only they, like, the stupid shit I say in real life is like unheard of.
Yeah. But it's like, for the longest time you have to mask that because you want to appeal to like the widest range of audience possible, while also like minimizing the opportunity that people like dislike you, you know?
Yeah.
Dantes has a reverse filter, but see, that's the interesting thing.
Dude, no, that's so true.
Yes, but so it's kind of cool, right? Because you kind of have two opposite ends of the spectrum, where you say, if I say nothing weird, then I can't be canceled, right? And then you have the other end, which is like, if I only say weird shit, I can't be canceled. So
it's so fucking true.
Yes. So that's why it's like me and him, right? I am on the same exact wavelength as the people who, I guess, don't want to be canceled. But the only thing about me is it's kind of like I'm driving a car and I see that there's a cliff, but I'm like, you know what, fuck it. If I just keep going as fast as possible, my car's gonna fly, right? And then it's just hoping that your car sprouts wings and starts flying, you know?
In game or in real life?
In game, obviously.
Okay.
Are there more upsides to content creation or downsides? So it's a bit weird, because the interesting thing about content creation is that I would say that there's probably more upsides, but when you're undergoing the downsides, you don't feel any of the upsides, right? So it's kind of like saying, imagine you have someone that's very rich, right? And he spends all his time like working and doing all that kind of shit, right? But then imagine that because he was working so much, he wasn't able to be around for his family, and then his family starts dying, or they start like moving on with their lives, and he missed out on a lot of that, right? And then you ask him, well, is there more upsides or is there more downsides to like sacrificing your time for like success, right?
Happy thing.
Yeah, and it's just a weird thing because it's very subjective, right? So for me personally, I love the fact that I can choose my hours. I love the fact that I can be myself on camera. I love everything about that. It's just that I have an obsession with perfection. So because of that, whenever I have a bad stream, it ruins my entire day. Whenever I have like a bad game, it ruins my entire stream, right? So that's what makes it a little bit bad, but I mean, you can give like your...
Yeah. So I think something that went up into my head during this is, there's actually a study, guys. I don't know, I'm gonna assume the number, I'm correct on the number, but they took a survey of like a ton of people from like 20K a year to millionaires making millions a year. The actual happiest people out of that giant survey was 80K a year, enough to like be comfortable, but they're not working these insane hours where they have no time to exist, no time to be happy, make connections, make relationships, breathe, spend time with their family before they everyone fucking eventually passes away. So I think that's a thing, is like there is no cap on like the finance of this job, and you don't have free time. You fucking don't have time to like hang out with friends. It's like it's a lot of like, there's a lot of misery and a lot of pros, but like I don't know how to like word it without coming off like a little bitch, to be honest. But like it's kind of like you just have to like, I don't know. There's just no way to like really like word it unless you have like a better way of putting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's something where you almost have too much time as a content creator, that it gives you a lot of time to think. And when you have a lot of time to think, then you assess a lot of things that might be negative, and that might sour, I guess, like your view on it, right? But if you're sitting there and you're a guy who says, you know what, I'm gonna stream 8 hours a day and that's it, right? Then I think it's one of the best jobs on the planet, easily, right?
Then you can't grow. It's
Exactly.
only 8 hours.
But then the issue is that if you say I'm only gonna stream 8 hours, well, then there are some people going live for 12, right? So that's where...
Then you fall off.
Yep.
And you're miserable.
Exactly, because then what happens is you fall off, then people will say, oh, you fell off.
It's a trap.
And then you say, okay, well then I guess I'm gonna work more. And then you're like trying to fight against it. And
then eventually you give up working out, you give up hanging out with your friends while your family is off to this family event, or your friends are all doing something, and then you have to just fucking be grinding all day. Otherwise you're gonna fall off and you'll hate yourself, and like it's pretty much, it's so interesting, guys. I wish I could like really explain the intricacies of this job. It's so like, it's a big mental fucking war between your temporary, your long-term happiness, and like I would say like the whole income and work thing is probably more so. I mean, in a sense, it's ego, but like it is also happiness. Like I know Dantes especially, like I think he probably pulls a bit more happiness than I do out of streaming. I think like, cause you like, your community is like, you built something that you like. He fucking thinks about it when he's not even streaming. He's like, what can I do better? What can I like? It's just like your life.
No, exactly.
A bit more so than me. I think because I'm older, I'm really trying to like focus on like having a balance.
Yeah, and because I think that a lot of people also don't understand is that when you're streaming, you're not just playing a game, right? And this is what a lot of people they fail to realize. Because I remember I used to sit there and I used to play League for like 16 hours, right? And I'd watch streamers and I'd be like, why does this guy play off stream? Just stream for 20 hours straight, right? But then you realize that it's because when you have a camera on you especially, every little movement that you're gonna do, people are watching it, right? When you're gonna respond to a person, right? Like let's say a text message or stuff like that, people are gonna judge you for it because then they're saying like, oh, like why is he responding instead of just like interacting with us? And then it'll also be that like, but yeah, so like you're gonna sit there and be like, you want like these people to do this or that, but then on stream you need to sit there and just be like, all right guys, we're 20 kills down, but we can win, And
it's so true.
It's like you need to suppress those like dark thoughts.
Oh my, yeah, you actually don't have time to be tilted. I mean, with League 2, like if you go tilt mode, you're gonna lose all your games, then you're gonna be miserable for another week, and like you're not gonna be good for your chat. If you have I'd imagine like if I were a viewer and I saw some fucking depressed like tilted streamer, I'd probably watch it for like maybe 30 seconds before I just click
Yep.
off and be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch someone that is actually entertaining. So like you just don't have a choice to like have that other half of your emotions.
Yep.
So yeah.
So is there any like thing you want to talk about now? Like any closing things?
I think well, you know, I think those are like probably the biggest cons of like being a content creator.
Yep.
We talked about the pros.
Yep.
All I can say is overall, League of Legends is an interesting place with an interesting community, right? We've got such an interesting mix of humans and absolute filth that, no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I don't really think I have much more to say, honestly.
Alright, good. Alright, so chat, that being said, a little bit of an announcement now. I got a message an hour ago that almost made me break down. And turns out that my GM Korea account is actually unbanned now. So I think I'm just gonna grind 14 hours the next 2 days, each day, and then by the end of it, we'll see. But let's just say that in the song that that one guy made of me, the Hearthstone one, where I said we might just have to extend the trip 2 weeks, we might. We might not, but we might, you know? So we're gonna see. So anyways, with that being said, that's the announcement. I'll probably go live in a little bit, and we're gonna be doing the first league stream in a few days, so that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, so with that being said, I want to thank you guys all for listening. I want to thank you guys all for watching.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's been real. It's very fun to talk about this stuff, especially now that like I'm like, you know, it's all old news. Like everything's pretty chill now, and I think we both got a lot of. I mean, anyways, it's been chill. It's been a good time, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
To speak my mind.
Of course, always. So yeah, so with that being said, we guys enjoyed everything, and we will be live in a little bit to continue the Korea grind. So that being said, we guys have a good one. I'll see you all later. Peace.